It's really funny when you see all these YouTubers trying to paint legacy media as being corrupt, trying to say legacy media are always not speaking the truth. And then you turn around and see what they are doing. It's been 2 weeks since Charlie Kirk was murdered, assassinated, any way you want to call it. And now there's so many conspiracies. Some are even doubting if he's dead. Some are saying that it wasn't Tyler Robertson who actually shot Charlie Kirk. Some are saying that he was shot from the back. Some are saying that there were multiple gunshot conspiracies. But you know what? Americans, they love conspiracy. They feed with conspiracies. That's why you will see all these YouTubers like Owens, the queen of conspiracy, Alex Jones, the king of conspiracies. They are coming out, even the PBD podcast. They love conspiracies, but they are always saying, we are just asking questions. Now, new conspiracy, I think it's two-part. No, anyway, let's just react to this.
Years Army Special Forces. Military combat honors include Valor, Army Commendation Medal, CM with C device, all in operations in Afghanistan, Valhalla, VFT. But he's a really smart guy, and I've already seen his work before, but I've been watching his show now. Big fan, glad to have him here with us in the limited time we have of the War Room today.
He's a very smart guy. I like the way they always say this thing. He's a very smart guy. How smart is he?
But he's done some ballistics tests. Also, new developments, no blood on anyone who's treating Charlie. I can tell you, I know some Delta Force guys and people that are now saying maybe he had squibs and it was all theater. I'm not saying that.
See what I mean by these guys putting all these conspiracies? He says something and then he said, I'm not saying that. But if you can imagine the amount of people that are going to watch this video, you throw something, it's like you throw a bone at 10 dogs and you know that those dogs are going to fight. You know that throwing one bone in a pack of 10 dogs, that means those 10 dogs are going to fight to the death to see whoever gets that bone. And then he finished by, I'm not saying that. And then he brings on somebody on his platform who is going to push the conspiracy that he has in his mind and that he knows that his people will love. These guys are making millions from these conspiracies. And oh boy, Americans, they love conspiracy. Let us just listen to what this guy is saying now about the death of Charlie Kirk or the shooter. Was it staged? Is it fake? They have a lot to say. I've watched this video one time. But once we listen to what they are saying, we will go back to the actual shooting. YouTube, please. I'm just putting this out because people are trying to say something different from the death of Charlie Kirk. So let's listen to what these guys are saying.
Said Sandy Hook didn't happen, and I only covered it and got blamed for it. It looks real to me when he's getting shot.
You see what he's just done there? He was saying that he was just covering Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was a very, very tragic mass shooting in a school. Multiple children were killed. But he, for years, was saying that no child was killed, that it was staged. And he was found liable for that. He was asked to pay $2 billion to the families. But you guess what he just said? He said he was just reporting. And you know what? The funny part is there are some Americans who will just take his word for it without even using their brains to be like, no, actually, you said the kids were not killed. You said the parents were stage actors. You said you wanted to see the graveyards of the children. And in court, you were trying to say, no, they were actually killed. What I was saying, it was not saying that. That is what I'm telling you about Americans. They love conspiracies. They do not use their brains.
But no blood on anyone who's treating Charlie. Kirk's steel neck debunked with 30-06 ballistics tests. Tyler does not have a rifle with him when he walks to the roof. This is all conclusive.
It's conclusive. You cannot be saying I'm asking questions and then you finish by saying this is all conclusive. Is it?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Also, congrats on the success of your app. That's awesome to see.
Well, that's all the listeners, but it
shows the hunger for truth. It shows the hunger for conspiracy. There is only one truth. There's no two. It's either you're lying or you're telling the truth. So people are hungry for conspiracy because Americans are so dumb. They are not using their brains to ask questions. The right questions. They do not actually listen and try to understand. And that is why He's after the $2 billion lawsuit that he lost, he's now creating another channel to channel his conspiracies like this one.
Case for you here. I still met. I'm also almost more confused than I was the last time we talked. But what I can do is point out some things as we've been digging deep into this that just don't make sense anymore.
What things?
We're going to go over this clip of all of the security guards who are supposedly treating Charlie, that no one has any blood on their hands at all. And I can tell you, as a guy who's literally treated gunshot wounds in combat myself, this is not a thing. This is probably the most suspicious. Everything I've seen, this drives me the most crazy. As you watch this, guys, we're talking about a gunshot wound to the carotid artery. All of these guys.
And look at this guy in brown right here with the striped shirt.
Big old.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of want to say, why is that guy smiling? If somebody has just been shot dead and you work for that person and that person is your boss, why are you standing over his body and you're smiling? That is why these conspiracies, they catch with Americans. Because when you look at this guy standing over Charlie Kirk, who's just been shot like up to a minute, and you are smiling. Why are you smiling? What is funny that is making him smile? What is funny? Let me switch my earpiece the other way. This one is doing my head in.
I mean, he's smiling. He's acting like he just opened a Christmas present here.
And I want you to watch it. Okay, we're things off, but as like anything.
Wait. He just handed to the other guy. You know what? I see why people are tuning into these conspiracies. Because when you look at the actions of these guys are meant to be the security guys. These guys are meant to be working with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is their boss. It's a little bit, it is fishy. It's like, right. It's on there. I cannot put my finger on what actually went on, but something is not right with what they are doing. Because if Charlie Kirk has just been shot, they should be trying to save his life. The focus should be on the immediate guy who needs an emergency. The focus should not be you guys passing stuff around on top of somebody who's just been shot. Your boss.
No blood. No one has any blood on their hands. Who? So here's what I'm saying, Alex. I'm not trying to point.
What is it he passing to him? This is fishy. I watched it the first time, but I did not really pay attention to what all of these guys are doing. But now I'm starting to understand why people are tuning into these conspiracies. What is happening over there?
Fingers or conspiracies, but I want to know, why did nobody try to save his life? No one there is stopping the bleed.
That's actually a good question. Why is nobody trying to save his life? Why is nobody putting compression on the wound? Why is nobody trying to stop the flow of blood? Why is nobody like getting into action? Because the first thing you have to be thinking is, let us save his life. Whatever is around there is not important. What is important is the life of the guy who has just been shot.
Bleeding. Not one person put their fingers in Charlie Kirk's neck or their hands. This is a video
when
from
you
my
first
buddy
came
Dan
on
from
2 weeks ago, that's when all my security guys, they're all former special operations, they said they don't, the way they run around like they have a plan, but it's nothing they've ever seen. They don't know the hand signs. They're picking things up. And they said that what they see is premeditation, but they're not what it is. And now this no blood thing and the looks on their faces like they're taking a Sunday walk. This is weird.
It is, no, to be honest, I did not really pick onto that. It is kind of fishy. Something is not adding up. Your boss has just been shot, not up to a minute. He's still lying there with blood gushing out of his neck. What should be your immediate action? There are two things that we should expect from something like that. Either you're running to save your own life, or you're trying to save the life of, especially if that is your boss, especially if that's somebody that you have a very close relationship with. It should be you are either running, you are scared, or you are trying to save the life of the guy who has just been shot. But they seem so cool. There's no adrenaline rush. There's no panic. One was smiling and the other is passing something to, I don't know, whoever they are. Something is not adding up.
So again, I want to make it clear. For most of the viewers out there have not treated a human being that's been shot. Okay. Those of us that have know blood is everywhere, Alex. It is, I don't want to say the F word, everywhere.
We can delay it. Blood is fucking everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere. It'd have been over everybody's hands. It would have been over all of their shirts, pants, especially an artery shot like that.
Yeah.
It's possible that just no one has any blood on their, even the hands. So to me, what I want to know now is, you know what's very suspicious about why we're not getting this high fidelity camera footage from right behind Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, there was a camera just above Charlie Kirk. There was a video which shows somebody removing, I think it was after Charlie Kirk had been taken to the hospital, and somebody came and removed the camera, took out the SD card from the camera and handed it to another person. That should have been done by the police, because this is a crime scene. Once somebody shot a high profile someone like Charlie Kirk, that place should have been a crime scene where nothing should be touched, nothing should be removed, because everything was supposed to be evidence. But somebody came back, even took the chair that Charlie Kirk was sat on, climbed on top of the chair, that's tampering with evidence, and took out the SD card from the camera and went and handed it to another person. Something is definitely not right with what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Now I want to know, show me that footage. So because that footage is going to show me exactly what you're doing to treating Charlie Kirk. And I think, again, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Alex, I think, you know.
You are. When someone says I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, no, they are.
Your show enough times that you would agree I'm very level-headed with this stuff. Tell me why, Turning Point, no one treated Charlie Kirk. No one tried to stop the bleeding. You can see it right here.
No one tried to treat their boss.
On anyone's hands, weird things being passed off. Bizarre, absolutely bizarre. So I'm not willing to say this is nefarious, but I am willing to say nobody tried to save his life.
So, in effect, you're saying it's nefarious. Yeah, and you are of that. But I kind of understand what he's saying, because if you've seen the video of Kirk when he was shot, the amount of blood that was coming out, or one or two of these guys should be having blood on their shirt, on their hands at this very moment. 1, 2, 3, 4 people, none of them have blood anywhere. What is going on?
I'm confident in that. I can watch it right here in front of me. And then the question is why?
Well, I've seen the blown up videos of them when they're taking him out of the truck too. And you look at their shirts and stuff. I know they're far off videos, but I don't see it either. So
the argument to me made that because he got shot in the carotid, potentially if the heart got impacted somehow and it stopped immediately, all the blood would have already evacuated out of his body before he got moved. Okay, let's say hypothetical that's the case. There's still no blood anywhere on any of these people that supposedly treated him.
Well, let's be clear. I haven't shot humans like you have or treated them.
He hasn't shot humans.
I've hunted on wild game ranches, you name it, Colorado, all over the country. I mean, I used to go like 5 a year, and I've zebra, you name it. In fact, just using a zebra example, well, my son shot a zebra about 300 yards with 308, hit it right in the triangle like you're supposed to, where the stripes come together, hits it, goes through. We have to drive down an embankment up. Takes us like a minute to get there. We're still there, and like tooth of blood is shooting out the entrance hole, and then it's kind of water fountain kind of it died right there. But I'm not trying to be gruesome, folks. But the point is, a minute and a half later, it's still pump. He hit it because we butchered it later.
I'm not a medical practitioner, but yes, what he's saying is true.
He hit it right in the heart. So yeah, I don't buy this that there's not blood still spraying everywhere. 2 seconds later.
Well, it wouldn't even matter because this is immediately. He gets shot and this is right after he's shot.
No, that's my point is a zebra's heart blown out is still pumping a minute and a half later.
But in this, you can watch their hands. And as you let this clip play out, we see all of their hands. All of these guys, both their hands, both their sleeves, there's no blood on anybody. And this handing stuff off while they're supposedly... Why is nobody, Alex, when you're talking about a carotid artery injury, what I'm doing immediately when I roll up on somebody and they've got an arterial wound, I'm burying my hands inside of that wound before. Nobody's taking a shirt off. Nobody's getting gauze. You don't have gauze? Get a shirt off. Give me some clothes. I need to pack that wound.
And by the way, even low-level, not very well-trained security knows to jam gauze or clothing into a wound.
Or at least your thumb. Get your thumbs down in there and actually stop the bleeding if you can until you can get somebody to bring you help. But I can tell you, I watched this clip, none of that was done. So are these guys, they just had no trauma medicine experience? None of these guys that are his personal security have ever done trauma medicine? I teach trauma medicine courses, Alex. And this is just not.
But let's look at the body language of these guys. Their faces, I would show more concern flipping an omelet to make sure I didn't burn it. I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm watching body language. They look like it's funny.
I know. And again, I'm not trying to say this is nefarious, but I am saying if this isn't nefarious, this is insane ineptitude. These guys have no idea.
Yeah, but what about adrenaline? I know even a wimpy guy, their buddy gets blasted like this. They'd have shoulders flared out. They'd be shaking. You'd see really serious faces, teeth bared. I know what people look like under a car wreck or anything, but people are like, I don't see the battlefield, this thing. I don't see any of this.
Well, I can tell you, I'm having treated real casualties. You watch guys, even guys super experienced. Any Green Beret is insanely highly qualified in trauma medicine, right? And anytime I've done it, my hands are like this, Alex. And I mean, that's somebody that's actually done it shaking. My adrenaline's through the roof because
you're empathizing with somebody blown in half.
Well, and I don't have a lot of time to save this person's life, right? I don't have time to mess around and be handing shit off and just willy-nilly whatever I'm doing. I would immediately have both my hands inside Charlie's neck, both my thumbs, identify where this laceration is in the carotid. My thumbs are on it, and I would be screaming at the guy next to me to take his shirt off so that we can bury something inside of his neck. Well,
exactly. I've never been in combat like you, but I watched documentaries in Iraq, Vietnam, all of it, and talked to family members. You see that, people screaming, people yelling, even experienced medics, they care. It's a totally different, it's like this. Instead, these guys are like,
and again, I'm not the type of person to say, oh, this is nefarious, but I can watch that clip and you can watch that clip. And I'm sure everybody at home, even if you've ever done trauma medicine or not, listening to me explain it, now watching this is going to go, what the fuck? What are you guys doing? So again, Alex, where's that high fidelity camera right behind them that would have filmed this? Show me what these guys were doing. I'm very concerned with that at this point, just due to negligence. Even if it's not nefarious, negligence is serious here. Not that I think
multiple people are smiling.
Dude, yeah, Alex, I don't know. It's, again, I'm not ready to go down the rabbit hole of these guys were in on it, but I can tell you at an absolute minimum, I see massive negligence or incompetence at a minimum. I don't think that's arguable from anybody who's been in the trauma medicine sphere to say this is not normal. And I've sent this to our multiple 18 Deltas. I'll have my buddy Alex, who's an 18 Delta Special Forces medic, some of the highest trained trauma medicine people in the world, will be on my live stream tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific, and he's going to go through this exact same thing about none of this is correct or normal. So,
wow. Well, yeah, I want to play some clips of that on my show tomorrow, or maybe you come back on. We're in a commercial-free show, noon to 2 p.m. Exactly. So, well, that's what I've heard. I mean, you've been on a few times. Last time we talked, I've talked to all these Army Special Operations, Green Berets, Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, all. No one buys it. None of their friends buy it. They've found no one that doesn't think this whole thing doesn't make sense.
So I saw a poll that I think it was 88%, and it had, I forget where it was, tens of thousands of votes. Who believes the official narrative? And it was like 88% of average Americans don't believe it. I can't point to a single person I know that is just like, yep, FBI story. That checks out. I wanted to debunk some of the 30-06 sort of people have been trying to say, well, maybe it was a soft tip round or maybe it was a low grain load.
Let's talk about Charlie Kirk's steel neck debunked with our 30-06 ballistics test. Go ahead and introduce it.
So we did a ballistic test where we just used a regular 30-06 round with, I think it was 160 grain, 170 grain, pretty average round. We shot cow femurs wrapped in beef. It just exploded everything. It shot through up to half-inch steel, no problem. Nothing came close. And again, my buddy Brian here is a precision rifle competition shooter. And he made a joke at the start. We had everything on the tailgate, and I asked him, what's going to stop a 30-06 round? And he said, nothing, including this tailgate, which is true. But I've heard people have said, oh, well, it was a soft tip round. Well, as a guy like me who just happens to have all these things, I've got a soft tip round here. Alex, I'm sure you as a hunter know. People say, oh, it's a soft tip round, guys. It's actually designed. It doesn't have copper on the end. It's designed to mushroom faster to create even more damage and an even bigger exit wound faster. So the people who are saying, oh, it was a soft
exactly,
tip
that
round,
would have blown his neck probably 80% off.
A soft tip round would have decapitated Charlie in front of everybody. So that's a little silly. Now, and I'm also hearing, Alex, I'm sure you might be hearing this, oh, well, it was a low grain load. Let me talk about that. Let's talk about a low grain load. Let's say, let's knock off 1,000 feet per second, just to make it obnoxious here, right? That's how low of a grain load we did on this reload. We're dropping from, on average, 2,500 feet per second to 1,500 feet per second. Well, let's talk about a 9mm round, Alex. 9mm rounds moving at about 1,000 feet per second. And why do we use hollow point rounds? Why do police use hollow point rounds in a pistol that's
For more
shooting
knockdown
1,000
power.
That, but also because it's going to punch through. And you want that hollow point round to fragment so it doesn't punch through and kill innocent civilians. So when we're talking about, let's say you drop 1,000 feet per second off this 30-06 round, it's still moving at, let's say, 1,500 feet per second. The round is 3 times bigger than a 9mm round. So if a 9mm round is going to punch through most humans, what do you think a 30-06 round is going to do at even just 1,500? It's going to blow through his neck like butter. It's not going to make any difference. So all the people, and then there's also the angle. This is what I want to debunk too. Oh, it was a 9-degree slope. Let me look at this. This is Charlie sitting straight up. This is a 9-degree slope, as-ish, we would say. As the round comes in and hits his neck, people want to say, oh, then it refracted straight down at an 81-degree angle into his spine. That's not how Newtonian physics works. That's not how ballistics works. Even if it hits something very hard, it's going to hit his vertebrae, which is not hard. It's not even, it's going to barely change the angle. It'll refract it down a little bit. So Charlie would have had to been shot at an extreme angle for that to actually make sense.
Absolutely. That round's so powerful, I bet it wouldn't even deflect any at that range.
Maybe a couple degrees, Alex, but it's not refracting 81 degrees straight into the ground. That's not how Newtonian physics works. So if your argument breaks the laws of Newtonian physics, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry, I can't. No,
I agree. So this whole thing's disintegrating. And then moving on, Tyler does not have a rifle with him when he walks on the roof.
Yeah,
I've seen the video. Let's play that. This is really proof that we're being lied to right here.
So I want to look at, when we look at this, everybody who says he's got it in his jeans, oh, it's not in his jeans, it's up his back, right? Okay, well, we can see every angle in high fidelity. There's no rifle in his jeans.
You couldn't even put the barrel broke down in there to be sticking out.
Look at his back. There's no giant 30-06 barrel, or not barrel, excuse me, buttstock coming up the back of his neck. As far as I can see, we played this a few times, he has no rifle at all. Even this tiny little backpack, I'm not sure could even fit a broken down.
You couldn't even put a compact
AR-15.
M4 in that backpack.
I don't think so. So anybody who wants to tell me it's a broken down 30-06, got one right here. I want to talk about this too. This is a 22 to 24 inch barrel. That's 2 feet. The barrel, even broken down, isn't fitting in that backpack. So where's his rifle, Alex? Unless this is not footage of him, or it's not footage of him going to the roof, but the FBI tells us it is. There's no rifle in his pants. There's no rifle up his back. We can very clearly see there's no rifle here, right? Yeah, we're in agreement on that. So it has to be in his backpack. A 30-06 broken down is not fitting in that backpack.
But even the butt wouldn't fit in there.
No. So where is this rifle? How did he get the rifle to the roof to even take this shot?
So you don't like to speculate, but we now know the official story is a lie. What the hell's going on there?
And then this footage, obnoxiously, if you roll it back to the start,
back it up.
This is very clearly edited. It's altered. He's got obviously no rifle at all. He's got a shadow. Okay, as you see him run around the corner of the building here, it's very clear he does not have a 44-inch long gun. He's not carrying anything, but then he hits here, his shadow disappears, and now all of a sudden he's carrying something. Then when he drops down, if you watch the pedestrians in between these trees in the background, that dude just vanishes. He's gone, just into the nether. So this is obviously shittily edited.
I was about to say, my FBI sources think this is being put out to actually discredit somebody in the government. They would put this out to create this.
So Alex, let's think about this. If you go back to the very first frame of it, this security camera has eyes on where he would have taken the shot from. Boom. That, where you can see it in the far left corner.
Why are we getting the tape before this?
Why does the tape start when he's running? Why don't you show? You could show me him shooting.
Well, that goes to
from
the
that
larger
platform.
issue. There's ring cameras. There's cameras everywhere. Why do we have such limited stuff right in the middle of a major city?
Well, and I forgot to send you this video, Alex. Somebody walked through this entire area and showed all of the cameras that are everywhere in that building. We would have had him on camera from start to finish, entering the building all the way to the roof. Everything's on camera. Maybe they have it, Alex. Maybe the FBI randomly is not putting that information out, but is putting out bad information. Why? I don't know.
Let me say this. What time are you doing your show today?
5 p.m. Pacific will be our live. We're going to go over all the anomalies of this that just don't make sense. They don't work.
And so where people find that on your X or where, or your
YouTube? Valhalla VFT on YouTube. Yep, it'll be on our YouTube channel.
Well, I'm doing a special show noon to 2 tomorrow. Maybe you can pop in with those findings for us. But we got about 2 minutes left. I could have easily come out with conspiracy theories up front. I don't do that. A bunch of viral stuff. I was debunking all the fake stuff, but all this is irrefutable. I've had other experts on making the same points. Where does it go from here? Because only the FBI could cover this up. I'm not trying to blame the Trump admin, but this looks like Butler 2.0.
Well, I'll tell you this. As far as I know, Alex, the family just hired the Menendez brothers' lawyers. So this whole story about the dad turning him in, now that I know we don't have a lot of time, that's another one. That's now not true. Now it was a family friend sheriff that forced, or basically,
and now the feds are getting them to weigh preliminary hearings. They're not. So it looks like they're getting ready to fight. So that means Tyler Robinson might get Epstein.
Well, what it means is Tyler Robinson and his family are going to plead not guilty and fight this. And so good luck to the prosecution, because my God, this is rife. That legal team has got to be salivating right now. I have no idea, unless the FBI has all this information and all this evidence that they've just withheld, which is very bizarre because they've been blasting out bad information. So unless
remember when Patel put out the Epstein cell stuff and it was all edited?
It's bizarre. It's also, Alex, it's getting more bizarre.